Manga, and more manga. I read a lot of it in my spare time, and by spare time, I mean at work. So much so that I decided to say, hey, screw it, let's see if any of these are worth your time. And with time in mind, I'm not going to waste any of yours. Let's see if this manga is for you in 10 minutes or less. Sweat and Soap is a romantic comedy manga written by Kintetsu Yamada and published in Kodansha, USA. As of this recording, it is finished in Japan with volume 11, but not finished in America, which only has up to volume 8. The story stars Asako Yaishima, a shy office worker with a weird habit to overly sweat in even the slightest of stressful situations, compounded by the fact that she also has strange body odor. And also Kotaro Natori, a man who not only embraces the scent of Asako, but fully falls for not only it, but her as well. And the manga follows their day-to-day of just becoming a couple, learning to live with each other's insecurities, weaknesses, all whilst juggling the business world they both live in. Starting off with the good and the characters. Asako is a fantastic character. Quite often, I get annoyed at the insecure type character trait that some of these RomCom manga have, but Asako is one of those I feel really work, mainly because of the issues that she faces, such as Kotaro being her first boyfriend that she's ever had, wondering what is and what is not appropriate, and of course, her sweating and odor problem, which is actually a real condition a lot of people do suffer from. It's not life-threatening, but it is embarrassing, and I like how it doesn't shy away from that. Even once Kotaro and Asako begin to date, she still feels extremely self-conscious about her condition. In fact, the way that they handle her condition and the way that she, handles it is really down to earth. It's very realistic, and I like that they don't shy away, as I said before, from showing that and how much it affects her and her mentality. It's really good, and in a way, it kind of strengthens the bond between her and Kotaro, but I'll get to that in a second. Kotaro follows in Asako's footsteps of being a very fun character. He's a lot less serious than Asako, but it's a good contrast to her because he's confident, successful, and seemingly has no outward problems. In fact, his contrast goes further with him being able to seem more vulnerable towards Asako, and allowing himself to fully commit to her since up till now it's really been all business. It's actually very, very sweet to see him kind of become a committed man, which you don't really get the idea that he was not very committed to any of his past relationships, but with Asako it's different, and he shows that. All of his actions show that this isn't just some girlfriend. This isn't some run-of-the-mill relationship. He truly loves this woman and will go to the moon and back for her. It's, again, very sweet. The relationship overall is just heartwarming. I won't go too in-depth for the sake of spoilers, and it plays out very naturally in a way that when they succeed, you're elated. And when they go through the rough patches, neither of them are shown as the bad guy. Neither of them are shown as a villain or someone who doesn't understand. It's more so that they are trying to just learn about each other. And it's very realistic, and I love that about this manga. It does take its time. In fact, one could say they take a lot of time just setting up the fact that they have to just accept each other for who they are. And I really like that because a lot of time in rom-com manga, they just kind of get over their differences and never really bring them up. Here, it's always on the forefront. They are very different people, and Asako and Kotaro, they do feel that. They do understand that, but it's the opposite that attracts them more. It's the old saying, opposites attract. And I really like that, and I really like the way that they meet in the manga. It feels a lot like an overnight couple sort of thing. Kind of like getting married in Vegas just after meeting after one night. It's really nice, and I actually really like how they just grow from there. It's very interesting, because usually you don't get that type of thing in rom-com manga. The art in this manga isn't incredible, but it works for what it needs to. There are still a lot of fun pieces, and plenty of panels that stand out personally, and in fact, it kind of gets softer as the series progresses, which I sort of see as Asako and Kotaro softening to each other as the series goes on. Again, it's not something that's in the forefront, and it could really just be me saying something that's not there, but hey, it's a rom-com manga, anything that feels schmaltzier is fine by me. Again, it's not a spectacular art style, but for what it is, I think it works a lot. Moving on to the bad end, there's really only one issue. Granted, it is the biggest issue that I have with this manga, and that is the fact that it feels like it could have ended by now. Which is strange to say, as the manga ended with chapter 97, but I do think it's one of those stories that could have wrapped up at maybe chapter 60. Granted, I understand why it didn't end at that point, and I'm happy it isn't breaking the 100 chapter mark anyways, since that's always a deterrent for someone to pick up a series. But I should state that there's just something about it that I feel we could have just said, okay, we're done, we're good, we can just move on. But unfortunately, it just keeps going. But granted, I will say it's not a deterrent to the point where I would say don't read it, because it's one of those things where even with that flaw, I still do like it. Overall, Sweat and Soap is a very fun, very, I guess, heartwarming rom-com. You don't get a lot of the craziness that some other rom-coms have, none of the ecchi moments, none of the fan service moments, none of that crap. It's just two people who are nothing alike coming together and falling in love with each other. And in a way, I really like that, because you get to see them both grow attached to each other in different ways. You see Asuko become more confident, bolder, and even more outgoing with Kotaro. And Kotaro, you see him become this almost serious husband-like figure, to the point where he will go out of his way to make sure that his woman is protected. And it's very sweet. Everything about this manga is fantastic, and I cannot recommend it enough to anybody who loves rom-coms. Like I said, it's already done anyways, so the entire series is out there, guys. By, I believe it said December, we're going to get the last volume in America. So, guys, go read it. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed. And that is time, everybody. So thank you all again for watching this entire video. If you like what you heard, like the information you got from this, and if you actually picked up Sweat and Soap, please like, especially comment, and give us a subscribe. Check out these other videos because they're all fantastic. And I'll see you again for another manga